I won't fall for this anymore. I won't start.
Okay, good, because I worked on that and I was like, I really appreciate it.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this regularly scheduled meeting of the Wethersfield Board of Education. Tonight is Tuesday, April 26, 2022. We are in the Town Hall chambers. Ellen, can we have roll call, please?
Yes, Chairman Carey. Good evening, everyone. Mrs. DeRoberts?
Here.
Mrs. Drew?
Here.
Mrs. Granado? Mr. Healy?
Here.
Mr. Lacavoli?
Here.
Dr. Regan Lefebvre? Mr. Riley?
Here.
Vice Chairperson Mr. Cassio?
Here.
And Chairperson Mr. Carey.
Present.
Oh, and Wethersfield High School Student Representative Ms. Lena Usello, excuse me. All present.
Thank you. If we could stand and have Mr. Lacavoli lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Moving on to approval of minutes of previous meetings. Do we have a motion to approve the March 22nd, 2022 regularly scheduled board meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Do we have any comments, discussions? Seeing none with a motion and a second, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions?
Abstention.
Abstention. Mr. Lacavoli and Mr. Riley.
So noted.
Thank you. Motion carries. Public comment. Anyone in the public wishing to make comment, please step to the podium, state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes. Public comment is closed. Moving on to communications. Mr. Emmett.
Thank you, Mr. Carey. Good evening, everyone. I have a few items for you here this evening. Just want to remind everybody that the work of the Career Advisory Board has been ongoing at Wethersfield High School. One of our showcase events will be taking place this Thursday over at Wethersfield High School, where we will have our annual career fair for our students. At last count, we were north of 60 businesses coming into Wethersfield High School to provide an opportunity for our kids to learn more about the working world and professional opportunities. So we're very much looking forward to that. I'll have additional information in the upcoming Friday update. Want to say congratulations to our Wethersfield Jets team, which finished second in a national competition. In a previous Friday update, as well as on our website, you may have seen the Jets team, a group of aspiring engineers under the direction of our own Ben Sikora at Wethersfield High School, created a device that allowed adults with disabilities to improve their productivity in the workplace. Again, a second place finish nationally, and they actually tied with Virginia Tech University for first place in the People's Choice Award in this competition. I do hope to have the Jets team here so they can actually demonstrate this device for you at an upcoming board meeting. Want to give everybody an update with regard to COVID. As you know, we continue to monitor the numbers. We had our vacation a couple weeks back. Over the previous 2 weeks, we saw an average of 15 cases per week. As you've seen on the news, the numbers have ticked upwards, and this week we have seen a uptick in our numbers as well. Mr. Barabal attended the EOC meeting last Friday, and at this point in time, the CCHD is not recommending any additional changes. However, we will remind everyone, if your child is ill, has symptoms, please keep them home. I also want to remind everyone, as I did to our principals today at our administrative team meeting, we have an ample supply of test kits. So we will get them out to you if you need them. Just see your child's nurse. So our numbers over the course of the week thus far as of today, we're looking at a total of 30 cases across the district. We have seen an uptick most specifically at Highcrest School, and I will say we had 17 cases over the course of the weekend through today at Highcrest. A lot of families, a lot of recent family events. So again, we're doing our best to mitigate this pandemic and carry on and keep the kids in school. So Numbers across the rest of the district are relatively stable, and again, we're going to continue to monitor carefully. So those classrooms where we had specific numbers, I believe it was a fifth grade classroom and a second grade classroom that we're taking a look at. We have notified the CCHD with regard to that, and I know parents at the school have been notified as well. So we'll continue to keep our eye on it. We're hopeful that we'll see the numbers peak quickly, and we'll begin to head down as we get outside more regularly. So with that, this evening, I do have a couple of other items. Very pleased to share with you this evening the educational specifications for Hanmer and Highcrest elementary schools. We have Mr. Dan Hansen, who will be coming up a little bit later on to talk about the process of how we do ed specs. In addition to that, we have Principal Christine Morey and Principal Pat Cohn from Highcrest and Hanmer respectively, who were also integral parts of the process of developing the educational specifications. So they'll be talking later on this evening. Also before you this evening, you have several action items. We had a busy Student Programs and Services Committee meeting recently last week. And then I also want to bring attention to action item 5E, which is the non-renewal action. I do want to say that this is one of those actions that I don't like bringing before you, but we have to. As we await the budget allocation, we need to make sure that we are taking into account these non-renewals, because if we didn't and we were forced to reduce staff, we'd be facing the daunting task of many hearings. So what I hope happens ultimately tonight is you'll take action for the non-renewals. We will notice these non-renewals. They've already been noticed via mail. And my hope is we get a budget allocation that does not cause us to have to reduce force of staff. We do not want staff reductions. At which time we get our allocation of the budget, we will look to rescind these non-renewals ASAP. So we'll look to do that in May. The expectation is we'll have a budget allocation no later than May 13th, as May 15th falls on a Sunday this year. So with that, that is communications this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Emmett. Moving on to action items. Mr. Healy, you have a motion for us?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Yes, of course, my screen just went blank again. So I have a series of motions of curriculum that were approved by the Program Services Committee earlier this week. I'll go through each one. The first recommended motion is Wethersfield High School course proposal and textbook recommendation. That's reference 2. Pretty straightforward, has to do a lot with preparation work, et cetera, and study habits. Did I got that right? I think I do. I think we can take them all, if I'll just read them out, and we can take them all in one motion, I think. The second is new course proposal, principles of literature.
No, Chris, we have to do them individually.
Oh, we'd have to do them individually? Okay, well, then I'll move that the first recommendation, 5A, be approved. WHS course proposal, textbook recommendations.
We have a second.
Second.
Thank you. Discussion. Mr. Stoley or Mr. Hammett? Anyone?
Did I cover it pretty much, Sally? Okay.
Okay. Any questions or comments? Seeing none with a motion and second, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. Thank you. Mr. Healy, next motion.
Yes, the next motion is Principles of Literature, English class, Unleveled. It's a new course proposal. That would be my second recommendation.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Comments, discussions? Okay, seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. Thank you. Mr. Healy, next
And
motion.
that third is recommended course, new course proposal, Principles of Mathematics, Unleveled, reference 2B in your booklet. Do you have any questions? I need a second for that.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any questions, comments? Discussion? Okay, seeing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries.
There are 2 double A's there, I see. Okay, 5C, a course modification proposal. This is the study skills proposal, and I move that.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Any comments or discussion? Okay, seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. Thank you.
Yes, numbered 5D, I will move that we have a new AP Physics, Essential University Physics. Move that.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you.
I will
Any,
just say this is an extremely interesting and challenging course. Very excited about it. The book was passed around and nobody could actually figure out what was in it. And that's why I know it's a really good book, because absolutely no one could figure out what was going on. But actually, all seriousness, it's a very challenging book. We're very excited about it.
I look forward to seeing the future of any of those students and what they do when they take that class.
Yeah, we were thumbing through it. It was kind of
Yeah.
frightening, but
Yeah.
anyway. So, do we have a second?
and, yep, we heard. Any comment?
Second.
Yep, I think we already had it. Any questions? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. And finally, Ms. Drew, you have a motion for us.
I do. Hold on, I'm gonna take a glass of water. I move that the contract of employment for ID numbers 906601, 906721, 906716, 906475, 906433, 906683, 906693, 906687, 906675, 906706, 906674, 905558, 906673, 906567, 906373, 906623, 906641, 906609, 906607, 906602, 906606, 906147, 904185, 906734, 906546, 906677, 906715, 906666, 906678, 906676, 906682, 906679, 906691, I think that's supposed to be a 9, right?
Just read it the way it is.
06684, 906711, 906548, 906339, 906529, 906532, 906533, 906536, 906541, 906545, 906449, 06496, 906640, 906470, 906604, 906452, 905832, 906421, 906448, 906451, 906406, non-tenured teachers not be renewed for the following school year upon expiration at the end of the 2021-2022 school year, and that the superintendent of schools is directed to advise such persons in writing of this action.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Riley. Any questions, comments? Yes, Mr. Cassio.
Just so that the community understands, this is something that the Connecticut state law requires, that non-tenured teachers be non-renewed. It's a safety element that we in our community have to do. It's not an easy thing for us to do, but unfortunately it's for protection, and our goal is to get all these people back. That's our goal. And so until we get our final number on a budget and the way it works at that point, we cannot move forward in any direction. So we wait for the guidance of the town council. The other question I have is, because of the 2 typos in the packet, I'm wondering if we should be on the err on the side of safety and add a 9 in front of them, or would that not be appropriate?
Yeah, it appears as if there's a typo on 2. It should be 906684 and 906496. So let's get that on the record.
So, Ms. Drew, will you amend your motion?
I will amend my motion to add the 906684 and 906496.
And Mr. Riley, will you still second that?
I will second.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Cassio. Any other questions or comments? Okay, we have a motion, we have an amendment motion on the table. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. Mr. Emmett, report and discussion items.
Yes, it gives me great pleasure to have Mr. Dan Hansen come to the podium and talk with us a little bit about the process of educational specifications, which we have completed for Hanmer and Highcrest, and those documents are before you this evening. Dan, come on up.
Do I have to push any buttons?
You don't.
It sounds, well, that's great. Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Mr. Everett, and administrators present. It has been a pleasure for me to work with the Wethersfield School District on the development of educational specifications for a new Hanmer Elementary School and a new Highcrest Elementary School. The educational specifications for a new project is required by the state to be filed along with the grant submission to the State Office of School Construction, which has to be done by June 30th of any given school year. The educational specifications, commonly referred to as EdSpecs, must be developed with input from staff from all program areas and must be reviewed and approved by the Board of Education. The draft EdSpec documents before you tonight were developed with the input of nearly 70 staff members, including administrators, teachers, and support staff from all program areas. The EdSpecs also identify the core documents of the Wethersfield Public Schools with regard to its vision for learning and curriculum development. These core beliefs guided the discussion during many of the program meetings we held with staff. On a personal note, I must let you know how impressed I was by the dedication, professionalism, and enthusiasm of your staff for the work that they do every day for the children of Wethersfield. It is important to note that the educational specifications do not specify the design of a new school facility, but rather the document identifies the spaces required for all program areas, including classrooms for all general education programs, classrooms for special education programs, as well as the many support services within a school, such as administrative services, related services, health services, food services, custodial services. Ultimately, the board-approved educational specifications are used as a guiding document for the architects during the design phase of the building project. It has been a pleasure for me to work with Mr. Emmett and his staff, in particular Mr. Cohn and Ms. Maury, during this process. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Are there any questions at this time? Mr. Cassio.
First of all, thank you for everyone's input. I mean, it's not an easy job, but at least we are here for the first read of the educational specs, which is always good. It's a forward-moving project. It's time-sensitive, whatever we do, and we hope that all the stones were unturned. And we looked in every area that we could possibly be creative with. So I know, being the chair of the Facilities Committee and working on this for many years, this is something that we have long awaited for. So thank you for that. And I don't know, through you, Mr. Emmett, or anyone else who wants to come forward and tell us what's creative and new, other than that we have buildings that need repair.
That we do, sir, and I just want to make sure that the board is aware as we go through the first read with the idea that we'll have a second read at the May 10th board meeting and then subsequent approval, so that we can submit these to the state for a grant application. One of the things at the last board meeting we talked about, when we talked about budget, was the space standard, and specifically related to Hanmer. And some of the comments that were made around trying to, get that space standard percentage up from where it was at 76%. The team went back after that board meeting and met multiple times. We looked at tweaking the enrollment guidelines and the boundaries a little bit, and we were actually able to increase enrollment at Hanmer, which increased our space standard from 76 to just shy of 83%, which will increase our reimbursement. So I appreciate the input from the board at the prior meeting. Tomorrow evening, we have our regularly scheduled Facilities and Maintenance Committee meeting, and we'll be talking about budget with regard to the escalation costs and taking a look at both Emerson, Williams, and Webb, and what those long-range costs will be.
Will you have like the new district areas where you're gonna be taking because, Charles Wright being taken down, where the Charles Wright kids are going,
Yes, yep, we'll have that. Yeah, that's exactly what Mike Zuba did. We carved out a section within the Charles Wright district that originally would have gone to Webb.
Right.
They will now go to Hanmer, which it increases the enrollment. I believe it was originally about 376. It increases the enrollment to about 439.
The other thing, just, to indicate the time and element that went into this plan to have the ed specs for these schools it just didn't happen overnight. This was something that many staff members worked on for countless hours beyond doing their regular job. So that's so noted for their ability to be grateful to work for Wethersfield. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Mr. Lacavoli?
Do we foresee there being any changes in the ed specs between the first and second readings?
We don't at this point in time with regard to Hanmer and Highcrest. That's a good question, Matt. We think we've carved out as much as we can possibly carve out in terms of getting additional space. I will tell you that one of the things we are also doing in terms of due diligence is making sure we do a test fit on the Hanmer site. Given the fact that we're increasing the number of students there, we have to increase the square footage of the building, so we want to make sure that we have enough space. So we're currently working on that. I expect that we'll get that information in either late this week or early next week.
Any other questions or comments? Yes, Mr. Roberts?
Just quickly concerning the staff that was willing to participate in coming up with these specs. I'm assuming it's standard to list their names, but I was very appreciative to have that list and to be able to look at that. They certainly deserve to be commended, and I know, having gone through that a bit myself as a teacher, it's an extra thing for you to do, but it's also very exciting.
Yes.
It was well received. I think, Dan, you said at one point in time when you had first started meeting, you had enough information to build like 3 Hanmer schools?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very much like
Yeah.
creating a budget, building a budget. You start with all the things people would love to see in a new building, and then we have to talk about reality. And there's only so much of an envelope, because the state establishes a state standard for space based on enrollment, and especially when you have specialty programs in a school that tend to be space hungry and serve fewer children than would normally be in a space that size, that can impact the overall challenges, of trying to make everything fit, and yet, most importantly, meet the needs of the program.
Mr. Cassio?
The other important item throughout this is years ago, we put together Wethersfield core documents, which dealt with the Wethersfield Public Schools vision and mission. And that was something that I think and hope that helped guide the process as well. I think it's all part of the core of what we do in Wethersfield, and it's just not something we throw up on the wall. We have some particular documents that we did follow. So, thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Hanson. Thank you very much.
Again, it's been a pleasure.
We'll see you on May 10th. No, I'm only kidding.
If need be, I will be here.
No.
Okay, meetings held, facilities and maintenance, 3/29/22. Mr. Cassio.
Yes, Chuck, we did have a great meeting on March 29th. It seems like it was a long time ago, but it really wasn't. At that meeting, we basically looked at where we wanted to go. We felt that the committee wanted to start the public outreach for the school building plan. We wanted to start working with a strong core group. I know the superintendent has been working with the not WFSP, but we'd love them to be a part of it, but
WSPC.
WFPC group. And so with that being said, we also talked about the ed specs of not only Highcrest and Hamner, but to start working on the ed specs for the other elementary schools, and that would be Webb and Emerson Williams. So we are looking for a clarification for the reimbursement, and we heard the good news about Hamner School going from 76% into a higher percentage for reimbursement for us. We're also looking at, what we deal with is what they call unfortunately, there's a financial element to all of this. So until we can look at what does the town want to project out as far as the finances, we have to go through a budget referendum, and when we want to go forward with that. And, we have a lot of time frames. A lot of time we're working backwards into what we're doing. And so we'll find a little bit more out tomorrow, where we're going to be, and what the total referendum is going to cost. And, it's going to be a milestone of different standards and different schedules and a timeline we're going to look at. So until we can get to that and look at the escalation clauses that we have in the master plan, and we looked at a grant, we're looking forward to a grant application in June, but I believe that might be a hold at this point, or we're still moving forward?
Moving forward.
Moving
the grant
forward
application is
for
June 30th.
grant application
Yes, we
for
are.
June. Town council has been up to date with our interim town manager, Bonnie Therian. So I know the board chairs had great conversation with the mayor. So we're all trying to keep it together and keep the conversation moving forward. A lot of exciting things happening. Unfortunately, there's some bumps in the road, and we'll continue our progress.
Thank you. Wethersfield Early Childhood Collaborative on 4/18/22, the Crest Council on 4/20/22. We had students, programs, and services on 4/19/22. Mr. Healy.
Yes, so just not much else to report other than the motions that we made just previously to approve those various curriculums. We also got updates from two of our schools on their remedial plans to get our schools caught up and engaged, and the great successes they had with some of their team building exercises. And it was a very inspiring presentation by both schools. I want to commend the principals that were there, obviously, and all the staff that showed up to give us a briefing on how they're dealing with all the issues that we're trying to deal with as we're trying to get us back to some semblance of normal, and to deal with the issues that the lost learning is presenting ourselves, not just here, but everywhere.
Thank you. Last night, we had a special board meeting for a grievance hearing. And tonight, Finance and Operations Committee, 4/26/22. Ms. Drew.
So we met today, and currently our budget, we are a little over $95,000 over budget for this year. But we are in a little bit better position than we were when we met in February. We are currently in a holding pattern, waiting for the town council to make their decision on our budget. And once that happens, we'll be able to discuss that further. We had a RFP bid go out for food services. We received the proposals back, and we'll report back next month for a vote on that. And I believe that's it for right now.
Thank you. Meeting scheduled, Facilities and Maintenance Committee, 4/27/22 at 6 PM. Wethersfield Early Childhood Collaborative Meeting at 5/9/22 at 4:30 PM. There's no unfinished business. Public comment, anyone in the public wishing to make comment, please step to this podium, state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes. Seeing no public comment is closed. Board comment, any board members wishing to make comment? Mr. Cassio.
Thank you, Chuck. All board members should have received the invite to the Memorial Day Parade. And if, please join us on Saturday, May 28th, beginning at 9 a.m. at the Motor Vehicle Department. It's not going to rain, so we'll all be down there. In the event of rain, stay home. No, in the event of rain, we have an alternate plan, which we did, we went to the community center. So we'll probably do the same at that point. Town Council, Board of Ed, town officials, state reps will lead off the parade line of march, and it's always a great day to join in. And our goal is to involve as many active military, retired, and veteran organizations as well as bands and civic organizations as possible. So it's a great day, it's a great honor, and hopefully everyone will be able to attend. The other thing that we also did integrate this year, as well as in the past, is that we did the essay contest at the middle school with the 8th graders, and we do have 2 individuals that have come forward, and we'll be reviewing it and letting them know. We also have Becky Weaver at Hamner has been organizing the poster contest with the 6th graders, and as soon as they're completed, they'll be delivered to the town hall for display. So it's a great day, a lot of exciting things, and a lot of involvement. So it's remarkable to see what the students have to say about Memorial Day and what it means to them. So with that, we also have a Wethersfield Mayor's Charity Ball occurring on June 3rd. Tickets are available. The cost is $125. Board of Ed and staff, administrators, we usually got together and had a table or two. Let me know if you're interested. Tickets are selling, and it's Action Hunger, and for a backpack program for preschool programs. It's always a fun night, and great to have everyone's support.
Thank you, Mr. Cassio. Any other board members? Mr. Lacavoli.
I just have a couple things as well. I'll try to be brief. I just want to thank everyone in the public who came out to the budget hearing and voiced their opinion and gave their concerns last Monday. Public opinion is always welcome and valued. I also want to let everyone know that Janice and I attended a reception at the high school for the National Arts Honor Society, where we got to see the artwork that our young folks at the high school were doing. It was pretty incredible. I would say I was actually amazed. Yeah, so these young folks have more artistic ability in one finger than I have in my entire body. So, and then I just wanted to touch briefly on something that one of our colleagues discussed at the last Board of Ed meeting. Bobby spoke on this concerning dollars for scholars. So I don't know if anybody knows or not, but we reached out to them. We tried to get them to change their policy regarding what graduating Wethersfield students could and could not receive funds from them. So they currently exclude Crest open choice students from receiving dollars for scholars funds. I graduated from Wethersfield High School. I received dollars for scholars funds. They helped me out to pay for textbooks. I know other people use them to put gas in their car to get to and from class. People use them for tuition. I was just kind of disheartened by their decision and their response, but there's a silver lining in this, and we came to find out that there was a group of young students at the high school who agreed with my stance on the dollars for scholars stance and started an organization of their own to raise funds for CREC open choice students who are graduating from Wethersfield High School. And following whatever endeavors they may be following. It's called the Primary Project. If you Google the Primary Project Wethersfield, their website will pop up. They have a Facebook page, they have an Instagram page, there's a YouTube video explaining who they are and what they do, and essentially they raise funds for CREC open choice students to use for whatever they choose to post-graduation. And I just thought it was really cool that these young folks took the initiative to do that. I just wanted to give them a shout out.
Thank you, Mr. Lacavali. Any other board members wishing to make comment? Mr. Roberts?
I just wanted to mention that with the primary project, if you are interested in finding out more or donating, their contact person is Doris Duggins at the high school. So she will be happy to answer your emails about that. And also, I encourage anybody watching this, there's still time to let the town council know how you feel about our education budget. That's 55 positions that are on the block if we don't get the budget that we really, really need. So we hope that the public will continue to support us, as well as having come out last week to show their support.
Anyone else? Yes, Mr. Riley.
I'm on the Career Advisory Board, and my company will be sponsoring a table Thursday, so I will be there.
Excellent.
Thank you. Yes.
We're also going to be there. So we're going to knock them dead.
No pun intended. Anyone else? Seeing none, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries.